My neighbor tried to claim my driveway. I turned it into her worst nightmare. I live in a quiet suburban cul-de-sac. My driveway is a little unusual. It's extra wide, almost double the size of everyone else's. That's because the previous owner had a boat and paid for extra concrete space to park it. It's all legally mine, well within my property line, and marked on the survey. Enter Karen. Yes, her name is actually Karen. She moved in across the street about a year ago and decided that my extra space was community property. At first, she'd casually park one of her SUVs on the edge of my driveway, just for a minute. I let it slide. Then she started using the entire extra space, saying it was wasteful for me to keep it empty when parking is so limited. I politely told her it was mine, and I didn't want anyone parking there. She laughed, literally laughed in my face, and said, "You don't own the street." Well, she was technically right about the street, but she was dead wrong about my driveway. One Saturday morning, I came out to find not one, but two of her cars parked in my space, bumper to bumper. She had hosted a party and decided my property was the overflow lot. I knocked on her door, ready to calmly explain why this was unacceptable. Instead, she rolled her eyes and said, "Oh, come on, don't be so uptight. It's just a driveway. You weren't using it." That's when I decided it was war. I took pictures of her cars on my property. Every time it happened. Date-stamped, geotagged. I printed them out and kept a folder. I installed bright yellow, private property, no parking signs on either side of the driveway. Within 24 hours, she was at my door complaining they were an eyesore and made the neighborhood look unfriendly. I smiled sweetly and shut the door. Next time she parked there, I called a tow truck. Watching her scream in the street as they hauled her precious Lexus away was the highlight of my month. She had to pay $300 to get it back. I thought that would be the end of it. Oh no. She started getting creative, parking halfway on my driveway so the tires touched my property line, but the body of the car was on the street. When I told her to move, she said she'd measured it and was legally allowed to park there. So, I went nuclear. I had a contractor come in and install decorative, but very real, steel bollards right on the edge of my driveway. Polished, waist-high, and impossible to get around without risking serious damage to a car. The day after they were installed, I heard an ear-splitting metallic crunch. I stepped outside to see Karen's SUV wedged at an angle, her bumper cracked, paint scraped to hell. She'd tried to squeeze in anyway. She stormed over, red-faced, screaming that I'd set a trap for her. I calmly told her the bollards were on my property and perfectly legal. She threatened to sue. I handed her the number for my lawyer. Here's the best part. Turns out her insurance wouldn't cover the damage because it happened while she was trespassing. She had to pay out of pocket for repairs. Now, she doesn't even look at my driveway when she passes by. She parks all the way at the other end of the street. Every so often, I'll catch her glaring, but it's the glare of someone who knows they've lost. And I'll be honest, every time I pull into my nice empty driveway, it feels like the sweetest victory.